Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry, and I am back. Joining me today, we have Thomas and we have James.
Hey guys.
Yes, Thomas, you okay too?
Yeah? Good. I'm just about to cough actually.
John, use that if you want.
Sorry about that. I couldn't see anything.
I'd keep that if I were you.
Yeah, keep it. It's gold, John. It's gold, Gerry, gold. All right, so if you are watching this video, you see that we have James on the long lens, the shallow focus, if you will. You see the way it looks there? Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. It's fancy. It's nice. Just saying.
Let's try and revolve the camera a little. Look at that.
That's right. And now I'm sick. No, James, it's good to have you back, man.
Thanks, Gerry. How are you doing, mate?
Doing okay. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of family, and not a lot of play. But it'll be okay.
But there was an Everton win.
Damn right. Yes. Thomas, you were telling us you had a nice weekend because everybody you wanted to win won their match.
Yeah, Gateshead won 5-0 in the FA Cup final qualifying round. So first round proper now. It's exciting stuff. The lofty height could draw a League One club. Could play Sunderland. That's exciting. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
That happens in like 45 minutes or something. So I'll keep an eye on that.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. So if any of you see Thomas just zone out and all of a sudden start doing something else mid-sentence, it's not one of his bizarre flashbacks, all right? It's an actual thing he's interested in, all right? Yeah. See, I don't have a lot of that. The closest thing I have to that is, let's see, last weekend we got to go see the North Carolina Courage play, and my kids we all got to go like to the field and hang out with some of the U.S. World Cup winning women players, and that was cool. Got to meet like Crystal Dunn and like some really good, but that's the closest we've got. We don't have any like, hey, I gotta watch the draw because my local is possibly gonna be playing some huge team. No, doesn't happen. Sadness. All right, let's do match reaction. As I said before, spoiler alert: Everton defeated West Ham at Goodison 2-0. There were changes. Change happened. All right. Contrary to popular belief, Silva does not fear change. Apparently not. I think all of us thought he did. But some stuff got shaken up. Some of it was forced change with injuries, like Tom Davies slipping into the center. Some of it was also Gomez getting healthy, so he's back too. Which is cool. Sidibe, came in for Coleman, who was on a red card suspension. Walcott stepped in, which everybody was looking at the starting lineup and thinking, "Why, God?" But he did okay.
He was really good.
You know what? It was. I don't know if anybody can say, "Oh yeah, saw that coming." No, it was nice. Richarlison went up front. Central in the forward position, and then Bernard on the left, and Iwobi stepped in just behind the striker in the middle. I think those were all the changes, unless I'm misshapen. So let's let James start. Goals by Bernard and Sigurdsson could have been worse. The score actually could have been worse. Yeah, the scoreline actually flattered West Ham based on what I was watching.
Absolutely, I think.
You want to give us your opening thoughts, James?
My opening what, sorry?
Oh, I very rarely ask questions. No, I'm kidding. Give us your opening thoughts.
Opening thoughts?
Yeah, so just ramble for a bit. It's okay. It's a loud ramble.
I like loud rambling. So just to start, basically, I came in and literally spoke to everybody I knew who was an Everton fan and basically said, it should have been 7 or 8. We hit the post 3 times on separate occasions. Their goalkeeper, who in my opposition view show with a West Ham fan last week, he was constantly saying how rubbish this goalkeeper was going to be, and he had an absolute worldie. He made about 5 or 6 brilliant saves. Oh, and let's not forget the wrongly disallowed Yerry Mina goal as well. Which match of the day, in case you know what match of the day is, Gerry.
Yes, I'm familiar with
Yeah.
that shit.
I'm not sure if people stateside know what match of the day is, but
They play it every once in a while on Sundays
yeah,
over
well,
here.
it generally isn't very favourable towards Everton, most of the coverage, and they decided to just completely gloss over the Yerry Mina disallowed goal, which was wrongly disallowed, of course. So yeah, there was plenty of things to discuss. I can understand that maybe they couldn't have discussed everything, but there was plenty to be pleased about. I thought we must have had about 20 decent chances to some extent in that game, compared to maybe about 2 or 3 for West Ham. So we were clearly the dominant side, and I can't remember how long it's been since we dominated a game for the whole 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Sorry. You want to keep going, James? Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, that was it.
You're like, no.
I was just thinking that Marco Silva's always seems to have been a 45-minute manager, as his managers like Koeman before him as well. But finally, it seems he's found a team that can dominate a game for 90 minutes, and we've just got to hope that it carries on.
Thomas, for some reason, I think it's because I spoke. It muted your cough, so we didn't. Yeah,
I thought that through. I muted it before I coughed.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was like, how did that happen?
This guy's like ahead of the game. I've got to like really step it up here.
I got to start muting when I say bad words at the same time as well. Getting a little beeper, you know. So Thomas, what do you got, man?
Yeah, just what James said. Really, I thought dominant from start to finish. They didn't really ever stand. Well, not that they didn't stand a chance, but throughout the game, they never looked like they were going to offer any sort of threat to the defence. The centre-backs weren't busy. Jordan Pickford wasn't busy, apart from that great save towards the end for that corner that wasn't a corner. I think the change to the lineup was so important. I think, obviously, there was a lot of changes, but Iwobi coming in at the number 10 role offered so much more. And kind of when he was different to Sigurdsson, he was causing trouble for the centre-backs. And because he was causing trouble for the centre-backs and he was making runs that Gylfi Sigurdsson often doesn't make, it was allowing Richarlison more space and the wingers generally more space. There was just a lot more space in the middle of the midfield for kind of the game to play in, and that was kind of how we broke them down. We've had problems breaking teams down in the past, but kind of the press of Richarlison and Iwobi kind of at their centre-backs caused so many more problems, and the gap that I left in the midfield was filled brilliantly by Gomez and Davies all game. Gomez's passing was on point as usual. You know, he was linking up the midfield and the attack brilliantly. Tom Davies looked good. He was breaking up the play. He was kind of bringing the ball forwards as he has done for England under 21s. And then also the fullbacks, I thought they were brilliant all day. They both looked comfortable on the ball. They were threatening their fullbacks. And I think because we were pressing so well and we were kind of getting that high up the pitch, their defence couldn't handle it, and it kind of bypassed their midfield. And let's just say their midfield was shambolic. I think Fornals played, he was awful. Felipe Anderson came off at half-time. Their midfield was kind of bypassed the whole game. I think that was because of our ability to press, our ability to win the ball back instantly and kind of close down their defence before we had to sit back ourselves. We didn't sit back at all really all game, apart from maybe the last 5 minutes when they were kind of coming in with those corners. For 85 minutes, we were on the front foot and they couldn't really get a grip of the game at all.
It seemed like we did less of our characteristic whip it out to our outside backs, cross it in and try to win a header. It seemed like we were attacking different areas of the box, coming in from different directions. Our goals, none of them came, just off a straight cross and head or cross and one toe. You know what I mean? Bernard did all that work. I thought too much work. I was sitting there thinking, shoot, no, why are you screwing this up? What are you doing? How in the hell did that go in? You know what I mean? I kept wondering. I was like, too many touches. I could hear my kid's like junior academy coach just giving him crap because he would be touching the ball too much. You know what I mean? Like I can just hear it. But you know what? It was clever.
Yeah, I think the use of Richarlison kind of signalled how we weren't really going to cross it in as much. If we had put Richarlison up front and then crossed it in loads, there would have been a lot of problems there. But clearly, taking Calvert-Lewin out of the team, put Richarlison in, we were much more likely to go through the middle as we did. We were getting into the box more centrally, and then the wingers cutting inside, and it wasn't just pinging out to Digne and Sidibe who are going to cross it in. Then we'll lose the ball, then we'll sit back, and then Pickford will ping back up again. It was less of that, and we were offering so many more problems to the defence than we have in the past, and we were just much less predictable than we have been in the last games, and we were just causing problems all over the pitch for them, really.
That's the big point, isn't it, really, is that we are less predictable. I think the whole thing that was fans were getting very upset with Marco Silva over was his refusal to change, and every team we were coming up against sort of knew what they were expecting to play. I think if we keep mixing things up the way like we did against West Ham, I think that poses a whole new challenge to every team we come up against. And I think on our day we can beat anyone if we play like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things, the idea of Sigurdsson not being in there, Sigurdsson offers a lot. It's just different to what Iwobi offers. You know what I mean? They just offer different things. And this is one of the things that's gotten to me for a while, is the idea of having another option to be able to place in that. I say center attacking mid, but Sigurdsson's that second striker often. But in that area, let's put it that way. Just another option to give us something that gives. And Iwobi is a different option. They're different styles. It's going to vary things up. They're different speeds. They like to attack things differently. Iwobi is more let's penetrate the box, and Sigurdsson is very much just like, he, as he showed when he came in, he's not afraid to absolutely rip one from deep, and that was nice. That was beautiful. And I think it helped the fact that he was coming in being a totally different player, a big change up from Iwobi. Yeah. You know what I mean? It also helped having Gomez in there, who was able to push the ball up the field in the middle more. Which we weren't really doing much of that when he was out. I think we were just he's just a class player, man. He's just such a class. I absolutely love Andre Gomes. I think he's great. I miss that guy. Not just because he's dead beautiful, but he's also, he's just so confident. He gives our team just, there's a sense of calm, But yeah, so I didn't want to completely say, Sigurdsson is this or Sigurdsson is that. It's different. It's different, because he does finish, with regularity.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is, if Sigurdsson was dropped because he was underperforming, but there'll come a time where a defence susses out Iwobi, and then maybe the time's to bring Sigurdsson back in, and he can do that.
Right there. Yes.
But that's what we need. We need to be able to mix it up, and also we need competition for places, which is something I watched. The being coverage from Qatar or whatever, and it's Richard Keys and Andrew Gray, and they had Tim Sherwood on, who was saying it's a disgrace that Everton have dropped Sigurdsson. He should wish to leave in January, and it was like, for goodness sake, to raise the standards at a football club to the next level, which we're aspiring to do, you need to have competition for places to push everyone to the next level. And Sigurdsson will understand that because he's a professional footballer.
Mm-hmm. And he is literally, and he's not just one in like name. He is a professional. He's a model professional. Yeah. Yes, he is, and he understands that kind of stuff. And he also understands, changing things up. You're totally right. Being able to switch things up mid-game, you got to do it to be able to switch gears. Yeah, you have to be able to. If you feel like you're going up against a wall, go up again. Try to find a different opening.
Absolutely. And in fairness, Gylfi Sigurdsson was interviewed by BT Sport after the game on Saturday, and he said to the interviewer that he was watching on from the bench, and he said we look better. So fair play to him if he's acknowledging that. And it's more you've got to understand the dynamics of modern football is that you need competition for places if you're going to be a top side. And if anything, I was disappointed that Silva hasn't mixed it up enough so far this season. I think that's why we were struggling, but hopefully he's seeing the light now and we can start to move forward, fingers crossed.
Can I just pay a little bit of respect to another disallowed goal? Charlison's left-footed effort.
Oh, the volley, yeah. I forgot about that.
God.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He was clearly offside.
Oh, yeah.
He was. Whatever. Shouldn't have counted. But holy God. That was so nice. I literally called my kids in the room. They were changing to go get ready for a game, and I was just like, guys, you're gonna stop what you're doing and watch this right now. Oh my gosh, so nice. That kind of finish, Richarlison can bring that. And I don't even think that's his strong foot either.
No, it isn't. But
yeah.
I think that's a testament to how well we played on Saturday that we had that many chances. I forgot about the disallowed Richarlison goal.
Mm-hmm. Walcott also, we mentioned it a little bit when we were speaking earlier, but
That
had
was
a solid game.
howitzer.
My
That
gosh.
shot.
The one
Oh
that
my
dinged
God.
the woodwork.
Indeed.
I really wanted that to go in just for him in general. I thought
Yeah.
it was a brilliant effort. It was so fortunate.
I thought his performance earned it as well. I thought he was
Yeah.
outstanding all
He looked like a
game.
new player. He'd come back from his
Yeah.
head injury. I don't know what's been knocked into him, but like he was brilliant. He was on the ball. He was turning. He was looking
Maybe it's
dangerous.
just
He wasn't just
Raheem
running.
Sterling. Raheem Sterling is that good that when he just hits the ball at you, it turns you into a better player.
So that was good. We felt good. We felt Davies did not put too many passes astray. Had a solid game.
Brilliant.
And again, he brings good energy.
Good energy,
He
indeed.
does.
But what I liked most about Tom Davies in that game, I said it in my instant match reaction as well, that he simplified the game. Every time he was getting the ball, he was winning it back, one touch forward and then passing it off to somebody and just doing the basics. And when you're struggling sometimes, you just have to go back to basics. And I think maybe Tom Davies was a bit of a breath of fresh air in that midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not saying Gay and Davies kind of offered exactly the same, and they're exactly the same player, but the energy they bring to the midfield was so important because you look at Schneiderlin, you look at Delph, they can both defend, but they don't bring the same like energy and tenacity to the midfield that I think Davies kind of injected. Because at times when we've had to break teams down, it's kind of we've been stuck in the midfield going sideways. Davies is happy to kind of carry the ball forwards. He's willing to take risks, and his passing was good, as he said. He's not the same player as Idrissa Gueye. But in terms of the energy that he does bring to the midfield, it was brilliant. It was like a breath of fresh air that we weren't just sitting there passing sideways. We were willing to get at them. And I thought that was kind of the same for the whole team, not just Davies, but kind of everyone in general, willing to kind of contribute with the same energy instead of lackadaisically, kind of passing sideways. No one wanted to take responsibility for playing it forwards.
But also, I think Tom Davies was, like I say, it was so simplified. He never took any more than 2 touches every time he got the ball. He was taking it and he was doing something decisively really quickly. And that's why we were breaking the lines really quick, getting the ball straight ahead into usually Alex Iwobi and then moving forward. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how the first goal came about.
I feel like Tom Davies' brain moves faster than he does, which is pretty cool. That's a smart kid. You know?
He is. He's a great guy as well.
Yeah? He seems like a great guy. I've never met him.
Unfortunately, I haven't either, but one day I'd love to buy him a drink.
I thought the way you were talking about him, you're like, oh no, we grew up together and used to go to summer camp and, we had a secret handshake and he's like my best buddy.
I don't know about me, but Tom Davies definitely looks like the kind of guy who went to summer camp at some point.
He's like, hold on, I didn't bring my own tent. I'm going to go ahead and make a shelter out of the branches. And
No, he definitely goes home and watches Bear Grylls or something on the telly.
That might be too commercial for him. He watches, all off the grid, like YouTube videos.
Those videos of the guys in like rural India who build their own little shacks and stuff out of dung. And
he would do that. You know that.
He's definitely into that.
But and we say all this, and we're totally meaning it in a good way. Hopefully,
he's a cracking guy, isn't he? And he's such a great figure to have at the club, I think.
I see how cool and calm he is, and I think if I had a kid that was that relaxed despite having to deal with abuse, he's just calm about being a professional footballer. And he realizes a lot of the nonsense he has to deal with is sort of just
nonsense.
The way it works.
And
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's gonna be there every club you're at, pretty much. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Unique too. Not afraid to wear all green.
plus, who needs a Bentley when you can ride a skateboard?
It does look like he's been bulking up some too.
Oh yeah,
which I think it was necessary.
You needed to.
Yeah. So one last thing that we have not brought up: zonal marking.
Ooh.
It went away.
It wasn't.
You know what I mean? Like, what happened? Did Silva just say no more principles? Let's go with what the kids know.
It is a pretty significant change. Like, to have that kind of drastic change, clearly something's woken him up, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad that we didn't zonal mark, and obviously to go from his zonal marking, which he has persisted with for a season and a bit now, he's refused to change, and all of a sudden he has changed it. Obviously, it worked fine. Obviously, they didn't really have too many threats from set pieces. They had a couple of corners at the end, which we were immediately exposed by, and Pickford had to make that brilliant save. But
yeah,
it's a weird one that he changed it now of all times. Obviously, against Burnley, the kind of a typical set piece team, and he didn't change it. But against West Ham, where they're not as set piece focused. I was happy to say, obviously, they do have some big lads in that team, Haller, Ogbonna, Diop. Obviously, they were always going to be threatening from set pieces, but I'm glad that he changed it. I'm glad he has finally got a woke-up call, because as much as people like to persist with zonal marking, I think it has to be at a very high level if you're going to get it right, and our players just don't seem to possess the ability to do it, sadly. But I can't actually ever outweigh the positives with the negatives of zonal marking. It doesn't seem like this is so brilliant, and it's so much better than positional marking. It doesn't really make that much sense to me, and I think man-to-man marking just does the job, and I don't really get what else you need to do, and I don't get what zonal marking offers that allows you to kind of be so exposed at the back and allow you to persist for so long. It's like, this is going to be exceptional, we're never going to concede a set piece again. It's kind of the same, that zonal marking doesn't really offer anything that man-to-man marking doesn't offer. I'm sure I'll be slated by some statistician for saying that.
It's usually people like Guardiola who are so focused on their own team's strengths, where they'd rather be positioned in a way where they can counter attack straight away. But literally any other team, your focus when you concede the corner is don't concede from the corner. It doesn't really matter what happens on the break afterwards. Get that corner away. And I think we did that better on Saturday. And I'm sure the man-to-man marking has made a difference there.
Yeah, I believe we've kind of discussed zonal marking often on the show, especially last season when, it wasn't working. But then near the end of the season, things started. It seemed like we had figured it out, and we were conceding a lot less from set pieces, and so almost like. But then we ended up seeing a lot of the same errors at the beginning of the season. It could be they just thought, sick of losing matches we probably shouldn't lose.
Yeah. That is usually a good idea, that you should change things. But in fairness,
especially if they're not learning, if it's not getting through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think maybe that's what Silva was acknowledged. Maybe he was trying to give it time to see if it sunk in, and it clearly isn't sinking in. But we've got to hope that anyway, because I was very concerned that Marco Silva was going down the very same route as Roberto Martinez, where he was going to end up being hounded out because he refused to change his principles.
Yeah. I see the changes that Marco will implement mid-game, and it does seem like he is up for, hey, let's shake it up a little. Let's do something really weird. Let's get weird, guys. He's up for it, but when it comes to the system, it doesn't seem like he's up for it. But I feel like he's maybe had a conversation. You know what I mean? And I don't know I think someone has sit him down, maybe had a little come to Jesus moment with him, where he said, hey, okay, this is the way the thing is. Maybe I have to be a little more flexible. And I think maybe Marcel.
I mean, Marcel's great, but I wouldn't go as far as call him Jesus.
Have you ever replaced that candle that blew up that time either?
There's a candle. There's three candles back there. You can't see it. The one that blew up, I replaced, and it's the reason it's not in here is because I'm afraid it'll blow up today. All right? So it's like so far down, so I got to replace that one. Those like three candles. I had it lit, and they're poop candles. They're not great. I mean, they're not made of poop, but you know what I mean. They're not great. So, but yeah, it lit and it's gone out already.
Those rural Indian guys, I bet you they could teach you how to make a candle out of poop.
Poop candle. Yes. All right. So, and on that note, anything else about this, guys? Feels thoroughly wonderful.
Feels
it
good.
Does.
Yeah, I've got one more slight thing to say. It's kind of
get it out, Thomas. Cleanse yourself.
I can see where people have come from. Yerry Mina's disallowed goal. Very frustrating. A lot of people asked, why didn't it go to VAR? My opinion is, I don't think it went to VAR because the referee blew the whistle before the ball even went in.
That's what I heard.
That's what I read.
The question is why he did that, but just kind of, this has just really been bugging me, and this is the best way I can get it out to more people than just me tweeting it. The VAR's can only like overrule it if the goal's gone in and he's disallowed it, but actually it did stand for a goal because he blew his whistle and the game had officially stopped. You can say the player stopped defending and therefore it's not really fair. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Brilliant game, brilliant performance.
Yeah, no, I have heard the same explanation.
I'm not stopping now he's brought that up because, and now I think about it, why did the referee stop it when the VAR is there to help him?
I have absolutely no. He was so convinced that something happened in that box that he stopped it before VAR, and I have no idea.
He said what I've seen when you watch the replay, he's acting like the player had been blocked. Like Gomez blocked the player off, almost like setting a pick in basketball.
It was
just blocking the player off.
Yeah,
that was what they said.
I watched those replays and I saw shades of Villarreal in 2005, and that just brought back some sort of PTSD crap. And
I can't see why it was disallowed, but I can see why it didn't go to VAR.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, the VAR's there to help him. Why doesn't he use it? And here's an interesting point. Has anyone seen Paul Tierney was the referee's name on Saturday? Has anyone seen his Twitter account?
Yes.
Is that actually his? I didn't realise that was his. I thought it was someone that's taken it.
I thought it may have been a different
it is
Paul
his,
Tierney.
And I think there's not been any posts on it since 2018 because I don't think he was a Premier League referee at the time. So odds are obviously he stopped posting stuff on it since he got promoted to a Premier League referee. So I do actually reckon that may well be legitimate.
Yeah, if you're wondering what James is talking about, he apparently likes
the red team.
He apparently is Liverpool. Yeah, the people across town that play in the stadium that reeks of urine
and poop candles.
Yes, poop candles. Poop candles abound.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not actually him. I'm convinced that's a joke account. I doubt.
Nope.
I don't think any referee in any way ever puts anything like that on their Twitter. As funny as it was,
I'm convincing myself of it now. I'm just gonna run with it. I'm just gonna run with a pitchfork to this one.
Nice. All right, so we're wrapping up now because this has gone longer than it should. Okay, so if you're digging the videos, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We sincerely appreciate it. If you want more James does the opposition view every once in a while for us, so keep an eye on. Well, there are other videos, so you keep an eye on our own YouTube channel for that. James, do you ever do other things that I need to pimp out for you?
I write blog posts for the site called Everton Extra. If people want to check that out as well, it's quite an up and coming one. And every game I do a pre-match sort of warm up post sort of thing. So yeah, check that out.
Right on. All right, I will remember that. So, everybody, you heard that about James. If you want more Thomas, who doesn't? He's the quiz champ of all time. So you can find him on the Toffee Blues website where he provides analysis on there. But every once in a while, if you keep an eye on the Toffee Blues Twitter, Facebook account, he will live tweet the matches and everything. So if you're like, who's bringing that tremendous mid-game wit? It's Thomas, folks. That's
I'm not gonna lie. You fire some good wit during those games.
Thank you.
It's pretty fast. I gotta be honest. I've done those live tweets before, and I'm trash at it. I'm glad you're good.
Find the time to be so humorous when things are so bleak.
I've been asked that question before. I just kind of. I do it because everyone else has been negative. You might as well be something different, so everyone's not just we all hate everything, we all hate referees, we all hate everything. I try and keep the mood light. It was like last season. There was a game where I think it might have been the Watford game where we lost 1-0 or something, and Twitter was a bad place to be. I thought I'd keep it lighthearted a bit, and I thought I was going to get told off, but no, probably went down well, so that was good.
Nice. So just be aware of that. That's where you can find these guys. We are going to move on to the next segment. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.